So I've been using these earbuds for about a month. These are the Soundpeats H3, and they surprised me with quite a few features, but I also believe they're not for everybody. Battery life. Well, you can get about 37 hours according to what Soundpeats says with the charging case. And you can also get up to 7 hours of continuous playing. But there is a little bit of a caveat with those 7 hours. And that caveat is that you cannot get 7 hours if you're using ANC. Because yes, these do have ANC. If you use ANC according to my testing, you can get at the most about 5 hours. Also depends if you're using LDAC or not, and also depends whether you're using the volume above 50% or not. So I would measure them between 4 and 5 hours if you're using all the features, which for most people I think is also not bad at all. These earbuds are also compatible with the Peats Audio app, where you can equalize and you can update the firmware. You can also use a couple of features that not everybody needs, but it's nice to have. But there's a small thing with the app I really didn't like, which is that now with Android, for some reason, you need to make an account to be able to use the app, and that wasn't the case before. But I really don't like being forced to have to register in an app that I really don't want to. So that's a small thing I really didn't enjoy about the app. Now, comfort-wise and design. Well, these are pretty cool. I do think the gold design is a little bit nice. It might be kind of tacky for some people, and I can understand it, but I think it's okay. It's not my style, but I also don't mind it. But there is something curious about the design. When you take them out of the charging case, they look kind of bulky. They actually look a little bit big. But once they're in your ear, the ergonomics are very good. And they do not look that bulky at all. They're actually pretty discreet, which is something I prefer on my earbuds. I don't want everybody noticing that I'm wearing earbuds if it's possible. So the more discreet they are, the better for me. But obviously that depends up to everybody, and also depends probably where you live. But these, great design, pretty comfortable, at least to my ears. Everybody has different ear canals, has different ear shapes, so it's gonna depend completely on what your ears look like or the shape they have. So your mileage will vary depending on who you are. If you want to use them for the gym, you can use them as well. They are IPX5 rated, and I used them for running, jumping, and I had no issues whatsoever. Control-wise, they work fine. The touch controls are not too sensitive. You can also tune them a little bit in the app, but they do a decent job. I mean, I really don't use most of the time touch controls except for pausing and playing. Remember at the beginning I told you these have ANC? Well, they do have 55 decibels of noise cancellation. What the hell does that mean? I have no idea. I have no way of measuring that. I can only tell you it's higher on the scale. Earbuds started when I started testing things out back in 2019 with -33, -32, then they started jumping up to 40s, and now they're up in the 50s. That means the noise cancellation is pretty strong. And I tested them on a long flight going from Mexico City all the way to Brazil, and I can definitely tell you the noise cancellation is pretty good. It does isolate voices, which is something I didn't expect that much. And continuous noises like maybe airplanes, air conditioning, or any type of engines, it does an even better job. So if you want them for noise cancellation, they're actually a pretty decent option. What's also decent on these is the microphones. They're not the best, but you can take calls. I would even take work calls, professional calls, and wouldn't have any issues. I just wouldn't say they're the best mics out there for wireless earbuds. But what I can tell you, they're probably one of the best earbuds I've ever tried at is audio quality. These are probably the predecessors of the original True Engines from Soundpeats. If you never heard about the True Engines or you're new in the earbud world, well, the True Engines were pretty famous from Soundpeats, and they were pretty good back in their days. I think they came out like in 2018, 2019, something like that. But they were very good. I used to love those earbuds. And since then, they haven't brought out any type of earbuds that were similar to the exact True Engines. They did have all types of True capsules, all types of mini Soundpeats, the little dot Soundpeats, the clip Soundpeats. They have so many models, I really don't remember all their names. But none of them reminded me like these do of the original True Engines. And that's because these also have 3 drivers in the inside. You have a dynamic driver of 12 millimeters, and you have 2 drivers of balanced armature. I believe that's the term. Yes, balanced armature drivers. And the audio experience with these earbuds is excellent. I never expected that audio quality for the price you're paying. It's pretty balanced. You got very clean highs, you got very clean mids, and you have pretty punchy and powerful lows. You can also equalize them inside the app, but I do believe you get an excellent audio quality without even having to use the app, which is a great plus. You really don't have to touch them, and I think most people will be pretty happy with them. But if you're a little bit more picky and you want a different type of sound signature, you can go inside the app. They have a good range where you can actually almost kill completely the bass or even make it a little bit stronger without even distorting because of those 3 drivers. So you can get a pretty personalized audio depending on what your needs are or your preferences, which is a nice touch, and I do believe these do an excellent job. Also, they have an LDAC codec for Bluetooth devices that are compatible. For example, Android phones. iOS devices are not compatible with LDAC. So how much will these set you back? Where I live, you can find them for about $110, $115, depending on the price, depending on the website. But I have seen other countries where you can find them for about $100, which again, I think all those prices are pretty fair. They are below most premium headphones, and they do have probably the same audio quality or even better than most premium headphones that are even more expensive than these. I was pleasantly surprised. I've tried a bunch of headphones, and I can tell you these are one of the best that I've ever tried of true wireless that have this shape and this form factor. I really like them. But there are 2 factors you need to take into consideration that might not make them perfect for you. One of them is that you don't have the best battery life. You will have to charge them quite a few times in a month. That's what happened to me. You also don't have the best microphones. If you want them for work all the time, I really wouldn't use them. I mean, I could use them for the occasional phone calls, occasional work calls, but not every single day. I would find just a dedicated pair for that. So it obviously depends up to you for what you're looking for, but I do believe if you want the best audio quality in these type of earbuds, and especially at this price range, and great noise cancellation, well, these are pretty hard to beat. I hope you liked the video. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like. It always helps us out quite a bit. And also, maybe check out this video over here, which I think you might like as well.